So I want to read out numbers
Uh-huh.
to you of what we have achieved during the year. And I think it's important to start to set up a benchmark in November before we started. It was November 2024. You just had an accident with your foot. You were going through a lot of things in your personal life because I remember you being, when we met, you were being extremely open about it.
Yeah.
Um, what were your numbers like in November and year 2024 with social media, Instagram? Were you selling anything? How was the situation? Zero.
Zero. So at that time, I was still working for a startup that I owned, but that was also the end of that era. So I really felt that I came from FMCG, like big corporations, then startup world. I felt, okay, I'm good at doing stuff, but that was not my purpose, like my life purpose. And I reached a moment in my life that I understood I had to change things because I don't know if it's my midlife crisis, call it whatever you want. I felt I was not aligned with my purpose. And at that point, I realized I had a big community, but I was not monetizing anything. And I always had this kind of brain worm telling me, like, perhaps you can do something, but are you ready for that? That is your people ready for paying something for your service? And that's where when we met, right?
Yeah, it was the divine timing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you the numbers. Let's see your reaction. So November 2024, we established it at zero. Some collaborations here and there. January 2025, I think month and a half after that, 64,000 in revenue. May 2025, 19,330. June 2025, 39,310. August 2025, 15,962 with the extension of the high ticket offer. October 2025, 32,164. January 2026, 52,883. In total, 223,649 euros in a span of a year.
And we started from zero, right?
And we
Wow.
started from zero.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How
That's
does that
crazy.
make you feel?
I feel really excited from one side, but at the other side, I feel still like, okay, where's the catch? You know, sometimes you feel like, okay, it's too good to be true. So the first month, like from 0 to 67,000, I felt like with this rush of, oh my God, I just cracked the game, right?
The algorithm.
The
Yeah.
algorithm. I know how this works. And then you feel like, okay, then the second step is like, okay, we did also quite good numbers, but it was at a different level. And that's when I had this reality check, like, be cautious. These are very good numbers. You're doing good stuff, but still there's a lot to optimize, a lot to improve, a lot to understand better the customer. And is this really something I can do long term? Is this really now my new way of life, right?
Existing.
Existing,
Yeah.
exactly. So, okay, I'm still cautious. I'm a person that has lived through many things in life. And I don't want to be too excited until I see this is something really that we can establish it long term.
I see. I think it's super interesting to speak about later on. Before we start with the questions, I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself. I think I will give my 2 cents as an opinion. I met Ari as an influencer, and I think I stayed because of how great person she is, how proactive she is, and how hardworking you are. And literally every single day since the beginning, you gave us like the full opportunity to just express ourselves through the work that we were doing. You gave us the full chance to go extremely hard on things and try new things. You were getting out of your comfort zone. It was something new for us. But I think the number one denominating factor that just led us to those results throughout the year was just the freedom of like, let's try. If we fail, we fail.
We
If we
learn from
don't,
it.
we learn from it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So to give the audience some context, how would you introduce yourself?
Okay, so I am Ari Grau. You can find me in social media as Keto AOV. I know my name is not. It sucks. I know it sucks.
I like it. It's memorable.
Okay, I'm specialized in the keto diet. Even I don't like to call it a diet because for me it's more like a lifestyle. It's a change of mindset. Now I am the CEO and and founder of Academia Renace, which is the project that we built a year and some months ago. I'm a person that, I studied economics. I have worked in big corporations, and I always felt, okay, I'm a good worker, and I was always promoted, and I had a good job, I had a good salary, good car, good health insurance, but I was not happy. And then I started social media as a hobby, but I was never seeing myself like an influencer. I was seeing myself as an entrepreneur, right? And I had to have a job, like a team and projects. And that's how, at the end, on 2024, we met, and it's like, okay, my startup life was kind of finishing, and I felt I can really do something with all the people that I have, right?
How was the transition? Like mentally, I think it's a lot.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough because also, as soon as you don't really have a job, like it was not like, okay, at 8 in the morning, you have to go to
The routine,
you meet the team and meetings and all these things. And, I had, in the startup world, I had also to report to the owners or the, venture capital and everything. So I always had a boss.
Yeah.
Even I was the co-founder of the startup, I always had someone to report to. Now it was me. So me and you guys, right? And I was waking up in the morning like, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, I feel like cooking. I cook. I feel like recording something. Okay, I feel like doing some stories. So this freedom was awkward. I felt now I can do really what I want, and I can help people that was in the same situation that I was 6 years before. And that was very empowering as well. Although at some point I felt a bit lost. Like, okay, you have to find your new routine.
Yeah, didn't it feel sort of scary? Because for me, it was like super scary in the beginning to work for myself because you get used to like certain schedule, et cetera, and then all of a sudden no one's there. It's just you, and you're the one that's giving yourself the rhythm.
Yeah, it was scary. But I'm not scared of changes. I have had so many changes in my life, and personally, I was going through a divorce. Okay, we can say it, no problem. There's the elephant in the room. So that time when we met, I had a broken foot. I was going through a divorce, and I was closing my second startup. It's like, okay, what else?
It cannot be any worse than that. Yeah, but what I was extremely surprised about it, because that context I basically found out as we were working together, but mainly that you are right now today in a completely different situation with completely different results and completely different lifestyle as well. The level of happiness and the enthusiasm for everything that you do remain the same a year ago and now. And I think that's really, very admirable.
I'm a very positive person, and I always try to see the best part of every situation. And even when you are in deep shit, there's always something good out of it. And that situation will not last forever. And the sooner you take action and step out of it, the sooner you will get different results. And I'm a straightforward person. I met you guys. I said, okay, let's do it. I mean, I don't have much more to risk. Right?
Yeah.
I was already in a situation that was tough. And I think we had a great path ahead that we could really build. And if it would not work, it's okay. I have tried also things in the past, and you learn from the mistakes, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think for us it was like personal. At least for me, I think when I was starting out, I was like, okay, it's the first project, something serious. I wanted to make it long term. I want to build long term, and I want to like make it work, because this is like basically my business card to this world of like info products or monetizing through Instagram. So for me, it was like this additional pressure, and not to let you down, because I think since the first day established that personal connection. We never had a contract.
No.
Since the first day.
I mean, like, we trust each other, we move forward, right?
We gave each other a word, and we decided to go through, and here we are today, a year later, and I don't think a lot of people can do something like this, so I think it's also pretty admirable. That's great. If I told you a year ago, you would be in this exact position as you are today. A year ago, when you were in the beginning of changing something, in the beginning of maybe taking Instagram a little bit more serious and taking that step like, hey, let's try with launches, that first week of work. If in that first week of work, I would have told you, hey, we made the amount of money, like 200,000 that we generated for the profile. And I think apart from like the cash side as well, is the product that we created, which is extremely special and has helped a lot of people get insane results. People lost 50 kilos, 30 kilos, 17 kilos for the... You want to explain more a little bit of that, how the product was and how is the feeling and the impact?
Yeah. So if last year you would tell me, okay, now we would be here.
This is where we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
We impact lives. We change people's lives with the great product that we created, and it aligns with your purpose, and you're also making a living from it.
I think I would cry. Definitely. I mean, first, cry of joy, because it's like, okay, you made it, right? You achieved to help people. As you said, okay, the cash is good. We need cash to pay our bills.
Yeah, for me it's like metrics. This is my
Yeah.
audience. I speak about metrics, but I think for you it's like much more deeper than that. And
Helping
for
the
me
people,
also
yeah.
understanding that as
Yeah.
well.
Because, 6 years ago, my life was really bad, right? And that's when I started changing. Then a year ago, okay, I was going through some crisis things, but it was in a different level than 6 years ago when I was really in a bad health state. But now, being able to help so many people that they are now not anymore in that dark well or dark circle, and showing them that they can really live their life joyfully, health, like with a lot of health, and they are working on their longevity. Some people, they had diabetes type 2 and now they reverted, like, okay, you are really changing lives even farther than the weight loss, right? So I think last year, I would not believe it. Then I think I would cry and I would say, oh my God, we made it, right? So I think, and perhaps if someone would have told me last year, you will be here for sure, perhaps I would even be bolder in some of the decisions, because I was very
That's
cautious.
interesting, yeah.
Like, okay, are we risking too much, or
Are we promising too much as well?
Too
Yeah.
much as well, yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was not sure that my method would work that well with everyone.
It was spectacular.
Worked with me,
Yeah.
and it worked with people that went with me through the years in social media and people who read my book. But okay, now we're really making an institution. We're creating an academy with my methodology. Of course, at some point you feel like, is this really going to work? And now when you have the social proof and you see that everybody that has gone through the program has seen results, it's like, okay.
A big relief.
A big relief. Of course,
Yeah.
a big
And
relief.
I want to touch on that because it's important to say that the first time we launched, we didn't really have any testimonials. And I think what's important is also to explain the offer and how we came up with the offer. What is it? I remember we did it through our usual process. So we did an interview with you. We also did an interview with your audience. We spoke about their biggest pain points. We noticed the pattern, and then we connected the two together. And Academia Renace, as we know it today, came to life.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of the offer and what we have crafted? And
So I felt it was something that was great as an offer, but I was not sure I was worth it, that offer to come from me. Like, okay, I'm not a nutritionist, right? Even now I dedicate my life to things related to nutrition, but I am an economist and has worked in FMCG, in big corporations and in the startup. So how come people would believe that a health coaching program and psychologists and personal trainers?
what is it really? How would you define it? Like let's land it down.
Okay.
What
What is Academia Renace?
Yeah, what's the offer? What is
Okay.
Academia Renace? Yeah.
So as we started, like, let's say the high ticket, the first product we had is a 3-month program, like 90 days, where we help people to really improve their life like 360 degrees. It's not just a program for losing weight, which it is, but it's also a program to help them rediscover themselves psychologically, for example, or rediscovering themselves like in terms of sport. People is just perhaps laying on the sofa for years and years and they believe they cannot move anymore, and then you make them realize, okay, the sooner you start moving a little bit, the sooner you feel better, and then you get all these endorphins and like how also the hormones are affecting your health. So we have a support based on health, on food, like nutrition, psychological support, personal trainers, and then we also have like specialists on some other topics, like, I don't know, grounding, or
Super
like,
niche, yeah.
yeah, like circadian rhythms, like how
Yeah.
the sun affects your mood and all this. So people comes to me because they want to lose weight. That's the main kind of pain point.
Yeah, that's the reason that they get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they see themselves like, okay, I don't know, imagine my avatar, as we call it, or my potential customer is a lady of around 50 years old. She has had kids. She has spent all her life like working, spending all her time for the husband, for the kids, for the house. They have forgotten about themselves, and they just, they start eating whatever at home, or they serve everyone in the table and they are the last ones. They eat whatever is left, or at the end, they have a bit anxiety. They don't recognize themselves anymore in the mirror. At night, they just open the fridge and do binge eating.
You solve hunger without being conscious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So at some point, it's like, okay, we can create like a nutrition plan for you, but we also have to solve all these like eating disorders, or we have to check on the anxiety that you have, or perhaps on the happiness level you have. Perhaps you're not happy with your
Yeah.
family structure or your husband or your job. So we tackle so many things because at the end, the problems they have is not just the food.
Yeah.
The food sometimes is the way out to kind of cover and compensate
the
then
consequence.
happiness. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we do. In 90 days, we help them go through all these processes and they end up being a complete different person. I mean, it's not a different person. They reconnect with who they really are.
Yeah, it's the essence. I think
Exactly.
it's like it's a mix of like the child they've forgotten, and it's also a mix of a role model that they always wanted to be.
Exactly.
Because we also had people that, as said, they all came for one reason, that they wanted to lose weight, eat healthier, improve their lifestyle. And since we included so many different points such as psychology or professional help from specialists such as nutrition, circadian rhythms, as you said, it opened up such a big, it's like somebody splashed cold water in their face. They're
Yeah,
like,
like,
wow,
wake
this is
up.
what really is going on. And I think it was great because they came to lose weight, but they stayed because they realized that internally, the internal dialogue, how they speak into themselves,
Exactly.
limiting beliefs, so many things that were there that they were not even aware of. Because I think we're really aware of like 30% of our problems, and 70% is deep down rooted in our subconscious.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
it was like a job to like in 90 days to like shake them up and say, hey,
Exactly. It is
Yeah.
really like a shake up. And not everyone is ready to do that. That's why I remember we interviewed like hundreds of people. And at the end, I think the first round was like 65 people we had.
yeah,
But it's crazy. Like the ones that really said, yes, I want to do it. And of course, it's a high ticket. Like I commit and I invest on my health. It's crazy because they really, from day one, they were starting to see results. Like in 2 weeks, they were already saying like, oh my God, people is already telling me you did something. I don't know what it is, but you look different. Sometimes it was, yeah, you look a bit skinnier, but it was the attitude. It was the way their eyes were shining.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the attitude. I think that's the main change they do.
Yeah, and I think it was so cool. And then especially we didn't see, like, we saw the results in the 90 days. Some people were losing weight, some people were getting different results, etc. But when like each month started to become more real since the first launch, and I think the main thing, at least for me, was when seeing the people that were students of the academy, when
Yeah.
they are working together with us.
Yes. I mean, first they began as being mentors of the new generations. And after being mentors, they decided they wanted to really support us as team members to help more people to come in and to change their lives. And that's crazy. I mean, they are the best closers.
Yeah. And
It's
we formed them from
students from
zero.
Exactly.
And
We
it's
train
people
them.
that
Yeah.
you never would think, like, speaking back to them, like, this is not the strong point, but then there were so many layers that they are like hidden themselves in, and once they sort of like came to light, you're like, wow, there's a lot more, you know.
They feel so empowered. The ones that
Oh,
are
yeah.
really part of the team, they tell me every day, like, you changed my life at a level that you cannot imagine. Because it's not just my physical appearance, it's not my mood, it's not my, I don't know, the happiness I have with my partner. But now you're even giving me purpose because professionally, I'm even able to pay my bills, like helping you to help other people. It's
Yeah.
crazy, right?
It's such a positive impact, and I think
Yeah.
it's like a snowball effect. Like
Yeah.
we're doing something great for 200 people. Those 200 people, the majority of them do something great for others, and it just creates like a great notion.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most remarkable things, like thinking it out loud. I think for the first time that we sat down and had a conversation, it's great. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
I mean, I feel super joyful that we built something so beautiful and so meaningful, not just for us, but also for other people. It's beautiful.
Okay, I want to continue with the questions. So when we first met, we told you that there was a possibility to monetize your Instagram page that you were working extremely hard on. What were your first thoughts?
That's impossible. I was like, nobody's going to pay anything. Why? Because they get everything for free. Nowadays in social media, you get recipes for free. You get lead magnets for free. Well, you pay with your email, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, everything is for free. Even AI gives you plans and whatever tips for free. Why would they pay me something? Which kind of service can I offer if I'm not a nutritionist, if I'm not a doctor, if I'm like, all this imposter syndrome like effect came to me, like, who would pay something? And I felt like, no, that's not possible. And you were like, believe in yourself. You have a
Go
great
girl,
value. Go
yeah.
girl, you got it. Like you have a great value. Just we have to understand better the avatar, the potential client, and create the offer that they need.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning I felt like, okay, perhaps they just want some recipes. No, they didn't want recipes. They have plenty of recipes online. They wanted this guidance. They wanted the friend that holds their hand and says, come on, you can do it. And that's what I'm being. Like at the end, there is a nutritionist who does the plan. There is a psychologist who does all this support. And me as a founder and as a CEO of Academia Renace, I am just their friend holding their hand. And
Yeah,
that's
like,
what they
come.
needed.
Yeah. And I think that was when we started, like after the first meeting, because we initiated with a lot of content structure and there was like a whole strategy behind to like generate leads. I think what also has helped tremendously, and I think it's like a fundamental pillar, is you opening up to the audience and showing like the true side of you, the personality.
Being me, not
Yeah.
playing any role, not having a filter, just being me.
Yeah. And I think that authenticity is what amplified all the results that we got. And I think during like the year I was working on your project and also other projects, what I've seen what works best is when you play on your strength and when you play on who you really are without pretending.
Exactly.
And I think you did that so well. So
But that's the essence of who I am.
nobody's gonna do it better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but even when I meet people on the street, it's like, oh, I'm following you. And then you start talking and they feel shocked. Like, you are exactly the way I thought. Like, you're not playing,
Nothing.
a role. No, what you see in social media, it's who I am. If one day I have a bad day, you will see me with a bad face. And it's okay. I mean, we're humans, right? We're not perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the good thing of, I don't know, what people looks from when they work with me is like, she's human. She's normal. She has bad days.
Obviously, yeah. as all of us.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, what expectations did you have for the project and what mind state you were in once we started with the first launch in December 2024?
So as I said before, I had this syndrome imposter, right? Like, I'm not so sure I can really do it. Why would they pay for my service? But at the end, it's like, okay, trust in the process, trust with these guys that they seem to know what they do. Okay, now I see what's your first project. Now I know you told me it's fine. We were both believing in each other, right? But I saw the methodology that you guys were using, and it made sense. Like, first, it's not about me; it's about the customer. What does the customer need? And then when we see the pain points, do I have something to offer? If I don't have something to offer, that's fine. Okay, then I cannot build a product or a service for them. But then I realized, okay, what these guys are needing is just this friend, as we were saying, that guides them and then puts together the set of experts that I would have needed like 6 years back, right? And I felt, okay, it makes sense. I think I can do that part of guiding and coaching. I can select the experts that I love how they work, because after 6 years, of course, I met a lot of people and I am surrounded by people that is very professional. And then I was like, okay, just curious if the pricing was correct. So that was also the topic of like, okay, is this the right pricing? Does people really can afford to invest in themselves to improve their health? It's an avatar that they don't feel worth it sometimes. That why would I invest more than 1,000 euros for my well-being when I am always the left behind,
Yeah,
right?
the last person
The last
that
person.
I prioritize.
Exactly.
I-
So that was my main
concern.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think for a little bit of context, the offers in the beginning that we made for the first launch, one was 447 and one was 1,297 and there was one for 1,997. Yeah, this
Exactly.
was like the tiers. They were packaged in different ways. Really interesting that you say that, especially the points like, do I have something to offer? And the process is super straightforward. And I think that's what I was speaking with my girlfriend in the car, is we were speaking about if you have a system and you have like a clear step by step, which eliminates the second guessing, the thoughts, the imposter syndrome, and you just follow the system, it works.
Yeah.
And especially what's so cool about it is you either already have a demand, if you have a profile, you have an account, or maybe you even have a product, or you create a demand. In the case that you already have a demand, it's pretty straightforward just to speak to the audience, see what they like, and maybe look at some analytics or some metrics of what is performing well. It's just how we started. We noticed that what was viral for your account was the recipe videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, and every time we uploaded them, it was a hit.
Exactly.
But like I would say, in the like spaces of virality, like 60% of them worked extremely well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go into the next question. Is how did you feel within the first 2 weeks of the initiation of our process? You already had 15 people working with you, and already a team, and already a product, and everything like super ready.
That was really crazy because back in the days when I was in the big corporations, I had teams, but I had teams, I don't know, 5, 7, 8 people. Now suddenly I started a new business with all this uncertainty, with someone that was also quite new in the scene. And then 2 weeks after, there were 15 people. And I was like, oh my God, how did it happen?
This is serious
This
now.
is serious.
Yeah.
This is getting serious. And of course, these people that many of them I did an interview myself. Before in the corporations, I was doing the interviews and I was
Selection,
really assessing,
yeah.
doing the selection, the recruitment. Now I just trust it in you guys. Like, okay, you find setters, you find closers. Okay, let's do it, you know? And I had to believe in you. And then I had to believe in you and the newcomers.
And the choices that we
and
were
the choices
making,
that you
yeah.
were doing. But it was fun. It was fun to see, like, also I loved the fluidity of these kind of structures, right? Coming from the big corporations that everything is so slow and you want to decide something and it takes 4 months so that it
It's
goes to the
rigid.
board members. And now it's like, okay, we take a decision, we need 3 more guys. Okay, tomorrow you have 3 new guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's
And-
fast.
And it's super fascinating because the interview process is extremely fast as well. There's so much talent that is out there. And of course, you need to do your due diligence. You need to filter who is working for you, if the person is suitable for the projects, because you have different types of personalities, etc. And I think one of the fascinating things was by 15 days, we already had offer. We already had the avatar defined, and we already had the first 15 people that were working. And already we were making the first sales. And I actually want to tie this question up to this. How was it when you first saw that we were already selling and the product technically was not there? Like
It was not
yeah,
technically.
well,
It was not
technically, yeah.
there. It was not
100% it was not there. That was the idea of the launch. Like you craft an offer, you package the offer, and then once you sell it, and like as you selling it, you're basically creating it, and you establish a date, and then people get in, they enroll, and then they start. How did it feel when the first one started to come in?
I mean, I knew there was this kind of deadline that I had the masterclass, like the webinar on the 2nd of January. And I knew that day sales will start coming in. No, but like 10 days prior to that date, we were already doing pre-sales calls and everyone was like, yeah, I don't know what Ari is building, but I want to enroll, whatever she says. And I was like, oh my God, this is really getting serious. And it also made me feel like people sees the value in what I'm doing. I don't even have a service. I don't even have the social proof. We have never done it before. And they are already paying a high ticket because they believe in me. Yeah. And of course, it made me very emotional. Like, wow. But of course, I had to commit and I really have to deliver. And I'm a person that if I say something, I do it. And I want to make it even 200% better because I don't want to let anyone down. And then I had all this pressure, like, oh my God. Then we went to the masterclass, knowing we had already sell many tickets, right? That was good because it helped me like lower a bit the pressure. Yeah. We have gone to other webinars without the pre-sales, which was another situation. But on that first launch was very nice to see like, okay, something is already there. And this shows me that it's going to happen. Imagine on the masterclass, there are no calls coming in. Then, okay, all this work of a month or a month and a half, and at the end, perhaps I don't launch. I don't have an offer because I don't have demand, right? So having the pre-sales was helping us to say, okay, this is really a reality. And also believing on that day of the masterclass that this is happening.
It's real.
It's real. It's real. But it's crazy like how I started delivering the service on that 12th of January. And I finished doing the first videos on the 10th, like 2 days before I was finishing the first module.
Insane.
And then a week, like I was working till 3 a.m. in the morning recording the next module. It was like, oh my God, I have to really deliver.
Yeah, and you work so hard. And I think the first edition was so special. It was like 30 days. We sprint, we do everything. We build an offer, we craft it together, we plan how to sell it. And it worked. And I think the magic about it is because we just had a clear system step by step of what we needed to do. And I think that is one part. And it's like 50% or even 40%, however you want to define it. I think what's most important It's like, we have the system, we know exactly what needs to be done, but the thing is the person qualified to do it? Does the person have enough heart and passion for this project to do it? And I think that's the part that people take for granted now in the industry, because they just want to go fast, scale fast, etc. But there are some clients that you can work with and magic happens, and some clients that you cannot get the ball rolling because they're maybe not made for this, and that's totally okay. So I think it was like the connection between system, strategy, heart, passion, knowledge, energy, and like just that collided together, and boom,
Exactly.
it was magic.
Yeah.
How did it feel at the end? Like, service delivery was done. You were probably on the sofa, like after recording. What was it, like 8 modules?
At the beginning were 10. Now we are having large to 11, but 11 models. I mean, some of the models were from
Yeah.
the experts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recorded 7 models.
Yeah.
Out of the 10. No, 6 models were mine and 4 from the experts.
Organizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the models will remember, some of the professionals didn't record it correctly. I had to step in and re-record things. Like, when it was done, I was like, oh my God, I just ran a marathon. Now I have to enjoy, like, when you reach the line and you feel
Yeah.
like, oh, I reached. And that was really, like, blissful, right? Like, reaching that line and seeing how the girls, like, in the Academia Renace, they were really enjoying every model. Like, oh my God, every model is even better than the previous one. And there's so much value in it. And I was like, oh, yes, I did a good job, me and the experts. And that was very, very nice. And then I was like, okay, now that it's recorded, how do we scale it?
Yeah.
Right?
What do we
I
do
wanna
now?
make more of
Yeah.
it, yeah.
I think that was also a very fun part, because 2 days after this launch, I slept so well. Like 2 days after and stuff like
a
this,
baby.
like a baby, because it was just so much stress, and like there was nothing legal that was tying up together, but like that word that we gave to each other was so strong that it just overruled everything. So for me, it was like, oh wow, we did
We did it.
we did results, and it works. And for me, it broke so many limiting beliefs as well, as in like how to implement the system, how would people react, how every single niche works in a different way. So yeah, I remember that time. I think the last call that we did was with the financial and accountant team to sort of check like the net revenue we had, which after every single expense we had 45,000 from the 64,000.
Yeah, the net part,
Yeah, the net profit. And it's just being on that meeting. I remember I was in the terrace with the sun and with the phone. I was just so relaxed, and it felt
Life
great.
is good.
Yeah, it was like, hey, this works, you
Yeah.
know. And the team was great. The hiring decisions that we made were 90% of them were great. Some people were not aligned with the mission, and that was totally okay as well.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we did a great job. And then we arrived to the point of scaling, which is another interesting situation, because we decided to transition from high ticket offer to sort of medium ticket offer. How was it for you going into like the second, let's say, sprint of crafting a new project, a new course, a new membership, which is ended up being Keto Expert, which is the membership that we did? How was it for you going into that project with all the experience that you just had with the first one?
So I was very excited because I knew that in order to make this a way of living, I had to definitely find another product that could work a bit more on its own, because the program that we launched, like the high ticket, it demands a lot of energy from myself. And I was very happy to do it, but very exhausted at the
Yeah.
end. It's like, okay, this is great. It's aligned with my purpose or the values and ikigai, whatever you want to call it. But my energy is also precious and it's limited, and I need to have a system, as you were mentioning, that can more or less go on its own, or requires a bit less of my time. And that's when we said, okay, let's build this kind of membership, and let's make it, at a medium ticket. Not everybody has the money or the will to invest on a high ticket. But it was also tough to differentiate both products, and that the avatars were differentiated, because in a way, everyone that comes to my account, everybody wants to lose weight. How do you determine this is the avatar that goes into the medium product and the high ticket? And so that's where we had a lot of discussions also with the team, and how do we differentiate the offer, and why do we do an annual membership and not a monthly membership?
I was fighting for it
I know.
for my life. I was like, let's put some modules, lock them in, give it like a 12 months, and let's unlock it. We had a lot of discussions about
Yeah,
this.
we had a lot, because I understand monthly memberships work for some kind of content, But in my case, they would consume all the content that they need, because in order to make it good, they need already all the content. And then after the second month, they would not keep in the
Because
membership.
they wouldn't see the results.
No, or they wouldn't see the value of staying much longer. So that's why we had to kind of craft a different offer, something that doesn't exist also, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a different thing that the other content creators or other nutritionists have.
Yeah, I think that like the second offer was special as well. We like, to be completely transparent, we faced like difficulties with it, and it's not type of difficulties like it didn't work. We knew our main source of like our fuel for the conversions was the organic, and it was working super well. But the idea is how we can create a ticket that is different, that does not require that much energy on the organic, because at the end of the day, audience comes in, audience buys, they see purchasing cycles, they see stories that you put, content that you put, and at the end of the day, if you're selling consistently all the time, people get tired of it. It's just
you burn the audience.
yeah, it's just the nature of it. And from that product, we had our ups and downs. I think in organic it performed super well. As mentioned, like there was some month, I don't know how much it made in total, but it's like around, I think, what, 60,000?
60 something,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And it worked pretty well. And then from there, I think the process for us was more relaxing. We started to improve the business more. So once we solidified that, we did the first launch. And then we start to reinvest back, like start to get the AI, start to get the agents.
That was
etc.
also a good discussion, the AI.
That was a good discussion as well, because I was scared to implement something like 3 months prior to launch.
A month prior to the
A month.
launch.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, there's gonna be complexity.
getting crazy.
You're maybe you're gonna bite off more than you can chew. It's gonna be too much. But you made a call on that decision, and I think it was a great decision. And
We improved a lot the setting. I mean,
yes, we implemented an entire AI system that just answers all the messages that come inbound to your account, and we set them either to the call or to purchase a program. And I think that call that you made was great. I didn't want to do it because of the
There was a
time
lot of risk.
limiting
Yeah,
factor,
there was a lot
and
of
there was risk. We were close to the launch, and it was the second time launching the membership. But yeah, going back to that state of like, first launch worked, it was great. Now we have a second line of product. It's also working for the organic. Now let's solve the ads. What state were you in? Because that's, I think, when we had the second offer created, I felt like we were starting like to get traction, and there was like motion going on. How was it like for you? How did you live through that?
So there I felt, okay, the second offer was validated, like, okay, organically it is working and people sees the value, and they were also getting a lot of results. Also, we expanded the audience because it was a bit more unisex. So
Yeah.
some men came in because the other program was more feminine.
Avatar was
The
different.
avatar was different. But there was still something that we felt like we are depending too much on the organic, which is good. I mean, organic is for free, right? You always have to nurture the organic. But if we want to scale, we needed the ads to work. Like, okay, I put 10K and I get 100K. Okay, perfect. Then keep the wheel spinning. And with the Keto Expert membership, I realized the ads were still not performing. Like, we get a lot of clicks,
100%.
a lot of start the checkout process, but they were abandoned checkouts all the
Yeah.
time. It was like, why?
Yeah.
And that's what, at some point of the year, we got a bit frustrated. Like, how can we? I mean, there was this plateau, and we want to scale up, but the ads are not. There's something off, and we felt our avatars are still feeling they are not worth it off, even it's a medium ticket. And
347 euros. Yeah.
but it's not that much. It's like €1 per day,
Yeah.
right? But still, it's money, and you're
Of
not
course,
sure if
yeah.
you will get the results. So we then felt, okay, organically they can trust me because they
We can
know
sell.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's someone new, a fresh audience, they would have they are scared, and that's when we decided, okay, should we then also do something even below that, right? Like the low ticket. So there is no brainer. Just start. Check it out, see how the program of Ari works, and then you can decide if you want to move further, right? And that was a lot of discussion last year, like, how do we continue?
Yeah, what do we do? How do we solve this problem? Because I think that was the number one, like, sort of limiting factor for us, because we have done the launch, we defined the launch product so well, and it was the high ticket, it was Renate, and everybody enjoyed it. It consumed a lot of energy. So the question came, how do we still keep going and keep improving, keep making impact, and keep making sales as well to drive the business forward? And when we launched the membership offer, it was it was complicated, as you said, because of like ads were working, people were making clicks, but just the price of 347 euros, it was complicated, like for a person to make a decision. And we had a lot of discussions about that. And I think I'm quite grateful that we able to bump heads sometimes, but I think it's good because at the end of the day, we come to conclusions and decisions. So we defined that Keto Expert, the medium offer, worked well with the organic, and it worked well through the webinar system as we usually did the sales, direct checkout, no closers, setters, some setters.
Some setters.
Yeah, some setters. From there, it created our results. And then recently we came out with the third line of our offer to solve that problem, to sort of keep the ads running and then have the inside, like the monetizing system of upsells or cross sells. So for now, what we are running is 47 euros one time off for 21 days. The promise is lose 4 kilos in 21 days. And it's I wouldn't call it a course. It's more like a challenge or
yeah, we call it challenge.
Yeah,
like 21-day challenge.
Yeah, like
a
fat burn challenge. And there are some people that are coming into it, and now the structure is basically people coming into the low ticket. We're testing it out. If it works, that's going to be verified, and we're going to move forward. So they will come into low ticket, then they will proceed to go either into the medium ticket or go to the high ticket offer, really depending on what type of season it is and if we're launching or not. And yeah, this is the structure for now. How do you feel about it? How did you feel with everything that we have done and all the offers that we have created?
I think we did the right steps, right? Of course, we found some bottlenecks and some bumps on the road, but I think we have built the house perhaps upside down. I don't know. We started with the high ticket, then the medium, and now the low. I don't know if the other way around would have been better. I don't think so.
That's the question I have sometimes as well.
Yeah, but I think it's easier always to have offers that are a lower ticket than setting up my first offer is 47 euros and then how I'm gonna sell something that is almost 2,000. Like, I think we did it right. Now let's see the results of this fat burning challenge. So far, so good.
Yeah.
The ads are running, sales are coming.
They're converting.
I didn't even mention it in any of my stories. Like organically, I did not mention it anywhere. And we have more than 70 sales already in less than a week.
Yeah.
So.
And we're not going full throttle on it.
No, we're still cautious.
We're pushing it a little bit.
Yeah. So now we are testing, right? The
Testing.
MVP, seeing if the product offer is working, if people values the service they are getting, and then we have to see how we scale up or how do we upsell to the medium ticket, and then when we do the next Renace, which is the high ticket, to see if we have nurtured this audience good enough so that the sales are easier to get into the high ticket.
Yeah, that still remains a mystery, but I think we'll keep going and we try it out.
Wait for part 2, right?
Yeah, wait for part 2.
Interview part 2.
We'll see. I want to now that we have the offers clear, like the systems that we did, we touched up content part. At the end, we did the distribution that you took care of the content. You also got involved heavily into operations because I think part of it aligned with your mission. You enjoyed doing the daily tasks. And in the beginning, especially when we had a more junior team, we needed more hands. So you were heavily involved. Till this day, what we realized work is content on your side does amazing. You know how the leads work, how it performs, service delivery, etc. Speaking to the camera, webinar. On our side, we just focused on systems, tried the offer, what offer worked, package, speaking to the audience, sort of putting it together, optimizing it. And I think that's like the key distribution that we came to. And I want to tie it in more into the experience. So looking back on a year, how was it working together?
It was a lot of fun. It was fun. Yeah, I think we clicked. Otherwise, I mean, if I work with people that I don't really get along, I think it doesn't flow, right? And of course, it's not that we have to be best friends. No, but I mean, you are very professional. The team that you have always worked with, it's very professional. And whenever we have found some people that, okay, we could find, I don't know, we could improve, then we have both said, okay, this team member, perhaps we can.
It's not for him or for her.
Yeah, it's not for him or her. And we can change it, right? So I think the good thing is we always had very open communication. We were not scared of speaking out loud, like clearly what we believed, even when we were moments that I was really stressed sometimes, or because I was delivering one service, right, the Renace, which is very time consuming, preparing the other offer and still nurturing the organic. So I had to do recipes. It's like, okay, at some point it's like, hey, I need to slow down. Otherwise, I'm selling a healthy lifestyle and I'm being, overwhelmed with my schedule. And you're like, okay, don't worry, let's make it work. So I think what worked very well was this openness. And yeah, sometimes also it's great when I see things in a way and you see things in another way. You're just like, okay, I take the car, I come to your place.
We speak.
We speak.
Yeah.
Let's do a breakout session and then we both align. Okay, we go for it. And we are both aligned. So I think the way of working was very easy.
Yeah, I think the general flow and like back and forth, it was like the easiest part. What about the results? How do you feel with the results?
I'm very happy. Still cautious.
It's interesting you say that, and I want to launch at you a question of like just a food for thought that just came up to me. Do you think if you would be a little more loose, we would get to results faster?
Do you think I'm too stiff?
I don't think that you're stiff,
I
but
don't know.
now that we have the contrast between like the first time we launched and the results that we got, we were extremely loose in execution as well, because there was a lot of like stuff that we needed to build and the team was junior, but also in like trying things, you know. So what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm quite open in trying things with AI. I think I was
Yeah.
the one bringing it to
Oh,
the
you
table.
pioneered that. You were front running that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Perhaps yes. Perhaps I'm still too cautious. Coming from a family that they were always telling me, you always have to save money and these and like do not overspend it. So I had this mindset. But I'm quite open to try new things. But yeah, perhaps I'm also stubborn. Yeah, let's call it that way. And perhaps you have ideas and
Me
I
too.
don't see it. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
it. But you never know if I would have done things differently, if we would have gotten the results faster. I think we got very good results without risking too much.
Yeah, I think
I think
like
yeah,
we covered the risk part
yeah.
pretty well. There was no like we either do this or we die. It
No,
never
we were
happened.
never on that situation. But of course, I mean, you can always do something to run faster. But also time is limited, energy is limited, and I felt perhaps I gave too much from myself when doing the service delivery. I think I have to step back a little bit there.
That's
If-
what we spoke about.
If
as
I
well,
want to
yeah.
scale up, I need to be less present, which also scares me because if I'm less present, that's what they want from me, right? They trust in Ari because Ari is there as a friend, as a guide, as a coach. If I'm stepping back a little bit so that I can scale up and reach more people, I am scared that I would fail on the service delivery, and that's what scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I think whenever thoughts come in like this, it's more like of an emotional side. We need to step back into systems and get back into the lab and sort of like figure it out per se. But I also want to add like additional question as well is if I could take you back 6 months, a year from today, and I will give you a full freedom to act bold, I would give you a full freedom to take any risk that you want. What would have you done differently?
Good question. I think I would have perhaps, made my content perhaps bolder. Sometimes I was cautious on the claims or cautious on this, cautious on that. Perhaps I would have created more or this viral content that we know it reaches thousands and millions of people, and I was not doing it because I didn't have enough time. Perhaps I was not prioritizing good enough. So I think I would perhaps made the right choices in terms of content. And yeah, I don't know. But in terms of team, I'm happy how we did. In terms of offer, I'm happy how we did. Perhaps from my side, I could have, worked a bit more on the organic content because that really helped us to reach a lot of people. So, yeah.
Any recommendations for like yourself, maybe some beliefs and stuff like this? For me, for example, I would defend more the point of views that I would had content wise or structure wise. Like I think going now from this point on, that's something I'd like to implement, like to defend my points more and obviously have data to tell you like, hey, like we've been together for a year.
This works.
I've
This
seen
doesn't work,
this.
yeah.
This works. I don't think this is gonna work because X, Y, Z. So for me, I think that would be number one thing I would focus on going forward from now. What about you?
Perhaps being more open-minded with the recommendations. I know I'm a bit stubborn.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think the problem is we didn't have a lot of data because at the first launch we didn't have a CRM.
Of course.
Everything was Excel.
Yeah.
yeah, and not all the data was super easy to see or to find. And that's also one of the topics that I came to you like some months ago. Was like, we need data to take
Yeah.
decisions, and we need to track things, and we need to see the KPIs and the conversion rates, and these will help us more to have better decisions, right? And to see if this is really helping or not.
And that's
Sometimes-
what we start doing.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as we made that change, like for us as an intention as well, to like track it to like the closest point that we had, because that's was like one of the primary issues since the very beginning, and we got in better and better. And I think this last 3-4 months we made like a jump to it, and especially now like we start to see like the results of how important it is. So given the data, given the context that we have, I think we're gonna do a great job. And last question for you is, if you would have to gossip about me to someone else, or maybe a potential client, or recommend me to someone else, what would you say the good things and the bad things? Your honest feedback.
The good things, plenty of them, I think. I mean, you are a great professional. You are very structured, very organized. I love how you have all your folders and everything. I'm a mess on that. I never find the videos and the whatever. It's like, David, where can I find the logos and this? You have everything so structured. You are very system driven. Like, you first have to have your miros and the flows, how everything works, and you have to always visualize it, which is great. For me, I'm a very visual person, and as soon as I see the whole structure, the whole system, I understand it better. So I think you really guide people to see your vision and to believe in what you're doing. You are very good also at bringing people together. So as a team lead, you always have, like, you are very assertive on the things you say, but you have a very, I would not say soft, but very empathetic way of leading. And that's also very nice, because I have worked with many people in the past, many leaders, many managers in the companies, and good leaders make a big difference. And I think that's also something very, very good from you.
Thank you.
Things that I could gossip about you, I don't know, like, you're still a child at heart.
Obviously.
which is good because you like to still be playful
Of course.
and to not.
It's fun.
And it's fun. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. I'm just, I'm saying, when
You're
you go to an
trying to.
interview, you want to say a bad thing and you end up saying a good thing. I think it's great. Also, you brought me a lot of, I don't know, a different perspective on the way I was working. I mean, I could be your mom, right? I have like 20 years more than you. So at some point, I didn't feel there was an age gap. We were both like
Aligned,
being so professional, but still you were taking me to this kind of joyful way of working, or now like, let's work in Bali and this and that. It's like, oh, okay. I was not thinking about that, but it's great. So I think you also take me out of my comfort zone and rejuvenate my lifestyle as well, which is good.
It's
I
great,
think
yeah.
it's great. And yeah, I don't know, in terms of things that I would say negative, I don't know. You are
Something to improve.
I mean, you're also stubborn. We're both stubborn.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I need to as well, like,
But it's fine.
explain myself better, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's good that you have your clear opinions and you're open to understand others. And there's people that have very strong opinions, but they will never give in. And that's something that doesn't work with you. Like, I might also have strong opinions, but we both put it on the table. We digest it. We try to put ourselves in each other's shoes, and we say, okay, you have very valid points here or there. And we always find a way out that usually it's like a little compromise from your side and my side.
Yeah.
And we find a way out that makes us both happy, like a win-win situation. And that's admirable. Not a lot of people sees this, right? And they say, perhaps men sometimes, I have worked with many men and they put the testosterone first, like, I don't care what you're saying. That's not how it
That's not
works
the
with
way,
you.
yeah.
That's not the way.
For me, it's more like logic, clarity, and as you said, data, something that we're working in. And it's just to see what we already have, what exists, and how can we improve it. And hey, from 100 followers to 230,000 followers, from 110,000 followers, I think. No, 130,000 followers you were on,
130,000 when we
to
met.
220.
No, now 260.
Really?
Now I think it's around 259,000, something
Wow.
like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
260,000 followers in a year, 220,000 something revenue, a lot of great results, a lot of lives that were actually impacted. Last couple of thoughts from your side? What do you think? We've done a good job, I think.
Yeah, we have. The results speak by themselves, and I mean, the people, like the reviews we're getting, everything is 5 star, five
Yeah.
star, 5 star. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Such a great offer.
Such a great offer. I think we can be very proud of what we've done, and people loves us. I mean, the people that has worked with Academia Renace, they see the value of what we do, and also the team, the back doors, right? Like the backstage. You also get to see some of the girls or some of in the retreats, or you have had some meetings with them, and they all value this. I don't know, this personal approach we have. That the whole team of Academia Renace, we are all following the same kind of values.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah, and I think we also managed to do something well, that we still maintain super straightforward and super honest, but we create such a great environment for that honesty and straightforwardness, because usually the type of people that we work with are not the ones that are ready to receive feedback in such a direct way.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated the fact that we still can do it. We still can be super straightforward when we need to be, and people understand that, and everyone is fine with it, because the goal is much bigger than just like a discussion or a
Exactly.
fight.
Yeah.
Something like this.
We've done a good job.
I'm proud of you. Ole!